So resistance, welcome back. um, yeah, resistance. One of my favorite sayings is from Star Trek and the Borg. When the Borg was coming, they've talked about, or their saying is resistance is futile. And I keep that in mind when life is really hurting, when I'm up against any kind of challenge. Resistance is futile. The more I resist, the more it persists. And that's how you break patterns. That's how patterns get stuck. That's how patterns wind up being very, it really hard to move. It's because we are resistant to change. The one thing we can say about existence is change. It's change. Things
Mhm.
are constantly changing. The more we're able to relax into that idea, the more we're able to relax into life. We can see that just simply in the seasons. Change is the only constant in the universe. So the more we're able to kind of accept that, allow that, and kind of resonate with it, then it allows, when the challenges really come up, to relax into it and resist it less. And that is the biggest way to start opening ourselves to something new.
Mhm.
And to me, that is the crux of healing. Resistance is futile. I'm going to relax into this, whatever it is. And I'm open to whatever the universe is trying to tell me. So I believe the body is a communication device.
Mhm.
It's, we can learn and understand the body by being open to it and listening to it and trying to understand it. And if you think about it, how much time do we spend being mad at our bodies?
Yeah, that's something I had to work really hard on, and I'm still kind of working on, but I'm getting there.
You're getting there. Mm-hmm.
So for
Yeah,
our
and I,
viewers, I just learned that I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which if you don't know what that is, because it's kind of rare, so most people don't. We didn't. It's a connective tissue disorder. So I tore the shoulder in two spots. One's a tendon and one's a muscle that kind of acts like a tendon. Beautiful. Going to PT. They said don't do the surgery. They were like, it's all bad. They were like, it's basically bad tissue, and you're putting bad tissue back together. It's still bad tissue. They were like, you just will inject some white blood cells in there, and if that doesn't work, then you'd be better off getting cadaver parts installed. Word for word, quoting the doctor. All right, PT it is. I can
mhm.
choose to be pissed at my body, or I can choose to go, well, at least I'm not getting cut open. Let's roll with it and see where it goes. And you know what? I'm just gonna picture all those little bitty little cells inside just going to work and just sitting there with the little, repairing all the little pieces of tissue. And I mean, I definitely feel a little better from when I tore it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, but
Yeah.
it yeah, it there, like, how you feel about it and the way you address it definitely makes a difference, and I didn't realize how much of one until I started changing it
Yeah. Um, that has been one of the bigger processes I've watched in you
and tried to
over.
talk me into trying earlier.
But again, yes. And so that was one of the things I really, if I look back on kind of our lives over the last couple months since pausing Siffany's Walk with Grace, and I do this all the time, this kind of reflecting, right? Where am I? What am I working on? But then I look at the people in my life, what are they working on? And what is my response to them? Because you don't live in a void. I don't live in a void. We're interacting. We're in a relationship. We're actually in a relationship with everything, but
Mhm.
that's like mind-boggling. So I'm going to focus it down to my relationship with you. So when we paused Siffany's Walk with Grace, I was in a really cool spot because we were buying a home. Very harrowing experience, the process of it, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been very enjoyable. It's been very energetic. It's been, lots of moving, lots of what's the word I want? Earthy things. So not the spiritual stuff was kind of on the back burner. Talking, interacting, doing this kind of stuff with you was kind of on a back burner because I'm doing this other stuff. But you were being smacked upside the head in quite a few ways.
She's not kidding, guys.
I am not kidding. And it was one of the reasons, yep, because you were saying, hey, Mom, when are we going to do, some more Siffany's Walk with Grace? And I knew I was moving and that I had that going on, but I also said a couple of times, I said, you're working on stuff and we need to stay paused because you need to work on that stuff. And
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little sad. I was a sad bear. I'm gonna be honest, guys, but I did need it.
Yep. And so I've seen this resistance in you, and in one way that it looked as you were growing up and until recently was I got this. It's like you had this, you were here to be known, to experience, and your body was not going to hold you back.
And I still feel that way.
You still feel that way. However,
I'm listening.
And you're until the shoulder happened, right? And now it's like, okay, wait a minute. Well, there were a couple other things that had happened.
I was just trying to wash laundry.
There were a couple other things that happened with you. I think you an autoimmune, and you're like, okay, so I need to focus on stress. That's one way of saying, slow down, pay attention. And you were trying, but that wasn't really working. And so now you've got your shoulder thing happening and you're like, okay, all right. And we talked about it. I think one of the things I had shared with you, quality versus quantity. And I think you came in this world like quantity, 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 like a kid in a candy shop, and you wanted one of everything.
I want to taste everything. Except seafood.
Yeah. But now you're starting to kind of learn and understand and pay attention. You know what? It's okay to pause. It's okay to examine, and it's okay to make more conscious choices and conscious decisions. I think that's been a lot of your process lately. And I think you have come like a long, long, long way. But so pay attention to your body. Whoa. Ooh, was that you or me?
No, that was my knee hitting this.
Oh.
I had to rig something today, guys. So I was space right here for me, and my knee hit the stand. Yep.
So our bodies are constantly talking to us, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
And that's also like, so our bodies and our spirit are connected, and when our spirit feels something, our bodies feel it in some way, shape, or form. And if we pay attention to it, like, especially because like I said, I have a team of psychics. I've been doing a significant amount of research. And so for psychics, especially, which includes empaths, which includes the people that go, oh, I just have gut feelings. That's precognition. You're precognizant, or claircognizant. Sorry. There are, the specialized terms for it, but
yeah,
it includes all of it. What's happening is you're having a physical reaction. If you're about to go to this party that your friend invited you to, and you're like, well, I have a gut feeling I shouldn't do that. That's a physical reaction to something that's about to happen. And is hard for a lot of people to grasp, and it scares people too, because a lot of them are like, well, how could I have possibly known? There's no way. Like, well, then they go to the doctor and they're like, well, you're fine, it happens. And
Yeah.
especially for sensitives, and we'll use that term, sensitives. It sounds less scary for some people. We'll use that one. So for sensitives especially, the the resistance piece really, really matters, because
Mhm.
a lot of them, especially the children who end up psychic, not end up, who are psych sensitives, whatever, sorry. They I'm still trying to get comfortable actually talking about it all, but
Yeah.
they tend to be very fearful initially, and what happens is they need somebody to kind of give them direction on it. And once they realize, like, oh, that's what's going on, that's what's happening, that's what I'm supposed to do, that's how I manage this chaos, they do become more comfortable, and they're not only able to help the spirits, but they're also able to help themselves and their own personal, like, way of life. Their value of life increases at that point, because they're not living in a constant fear anymore. And especially for those who actually see the spirits, that can be very intimidating. It can be traumatizing for some. It can induce a significant amount of fear. And really, a lot of the times they just have something they need to tell somebody. And that's it. But because it's so unfamiliar, going back to the whole big burning ball thing, um, it's scary. It induces fear. Whereas the more comfortable you are with it, the more you're like, okay, we're gonna do this real quick, and I'm gonna help them, and that's it, and then we're done. And it's not like, ah! and I don't know it, but your body does react too. Like, there's a lot of mediums who will get physical reactions. That's something that, going back to Ghost Adventures and Zach Baggins, I've noticed over time and over the seasons, he's been getting significantly more physical reactions to the spirits, than he was before. And it's
Mm.
because he's gotten more comfortable, he's opened himself up more, and, honest, open, willing.
Yeah.
So it really is all about the honest, open, willing, honest, open, willing. It amazes me how much it boils down to that, really. But the other thing is, it's, if you don't learn to manage it, or if you don't learn how to harness and control it, you're never going to learn how to manage it. And if you don't learn how to manage it, that's where you find people that are fearful of it frequently, because you never got that control. But it's not like it happens overnight. I mean, just like any other field of study, you still have to put time and effort into it, which is both a downside and an upside. I mean, the more you know, right?
Right. Right. The honesty piece is particularly important for me, that I'm recognizing even more lately, because when we're not paying attention to the body, or, oh, I've got a headache, so we pop a pill so we can keep going. What are we doing? We just put it to the back burner instead
Mhm.
of wait, oh, what is it trying to tell me? So not only are we unwilling to listen, part of that is, how do I say this? We lie to ourselves all the time,
Oh yeah.
all the time. And we believe that lie. We believe that we're human having a human experience, and we're not psychic, or we believe that only some of us are psychic, or we believe that there is no connection to the body. But all kinds of things, to open ourselves to listening to the body is the first step to really get honest too. I have to be honest with myself and say, okay, what does this mean to me? What belief do I need to look at? What is that underlying belief that's causing this pain or causing, whatever it is, this discomfort in my belly. Yeah, if I have this feeling when I'm supposed to get ready to go somewhere, if I were honest and say, what could that mean? Should
Right.
I
Do I actually have a tummy ache or is something going on?
Is something going on? What am
Yeah,
I supposed to
exactly.
trust? It's a lot of, I also believe that life is really experiential. It's all about
Oh yeah.
experience. Um, I can tell you what it's like to go hang gliding, but you're not really going to know and understand that until you do it yourself.
Right.
Um, so you can
And it
have,
doesn't help that fear and excitement can be displayed the same way physically. So if you're not
uh-huh,
familiar with your body and comfortable enough to be able to sit back and examine the situation, you might not know which side you're sitting on, and it might be really confusing. There's
yeah,
times like that too, because that
yep,
happened to me
sure,
a lot.
sure, yeah, yeah. Um, do you want to talk about your quitting again?
Sure. What
Are
about
are you still
it?
are you still quit?
Yeah,
You say that not very.
I still crave it and dream about it and smell it. And
Okay.
like, I had a dream last night that my other half went out and smoked and then came and laid down next to me. And I got so mad because he reeked of cigarettes. So that I went out and just stared at the ashtray for a minute and then like said screw it, lit it, took one puff, and then was like and then put it back out. And I woke up.
Wow. Mm,
Renaissance Fair was fun because I managed to put myself in the smokers corner at the night arena somehow,
yeah.
at the jousting arena. Wound up with all the smokers. I was like, oh no. It's just,
How did this happen?
oh
Mm,
yeah, no, the world is definitely testing me this time. Like every day is something that normally would have triggered me at least twice happens. And it's been that
yeah.
way. Well, it kind of let off now, but it was like that for like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Like all of my friends were like, dude, the ethers are really like, are you sure this time? Like,
Yeah.
it
Yes,
was
I remember.
hard.
Yeah. So it's been what, about a month?
3 weeks ish. I don't know. I didn't exactly look at the date. I just know it was like either Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
It's either been 3 weeks or a month, and I still crave,
Maybe
but
even longer, actually. But
I don't think so.
yeah.
I mean,
You
maybe. I
are
don't
still
know.
craving, but the huge difference that I'm seeing is, well, you tell me.
I'm
Um,
not grumpy all the time, even though I'm pissed all the time because I want cigarettes that I hurt. It's
yeah,
kind of weird.
it was kind of weird. What do you think the difference is from all the other times you tried to quit? In other
Yeah,
words,
so
how
don't
come
take
this?
this the wrong way. And if I
I'll
need to
try
cut
not
it out,
to.
let me know.
Okay.
But basically, both sides of my family either dropped dead from cancer or suicide. I'd like to change that.
And how's that equate
My
to?
dad had a tumor. They found a tumor in my
Uh-huh.
dad. And I was like, I'm only 32. This is too young for them to be finding that. I can't do that
Mm.
to my kids. I already have stupid high chance because clearly it's in the genes.
So
And
you're
I don't want to go
quitting.
that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a different motivation.
hmm
Okay.
And maybe I'm a little bit happier with life right now too. So
Well, it was pretty
maybe I
rough
want to
there.
fight for it more. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
Not to
okay.
say there wasn't hardships, but like as opposed to the last couple times, like maybe there's just I mean not to be that guy, but maybe there's just more to live for in my mind. Like, not that it ever changed externally, but I mean,
Yeah.
but change is constant. That's kind of contradictory. Ignore me.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I thought was different for you is one of the things you always kind of looked for in the past when you were trying to quit was what a quiet time, right? Not
Yeah.
wanting anything and
I wanted the world to just piss off for 2 weeks.
right, you wanted to
Cabin in the
pause.
woods, lock me away, call it a day.
Yes, you wanted to kind of like take yourself out of
Remove
life.
myself from economy. Yeah,
You
definitely.
did. You did.
I still do.
And you still do. Yep, but you're better at this. So, because that's the
But
shift.
you're
That's
right,
the
though. I got stuck having to do all kinds of crap. I had people visit from out of town. I had appointments out the butthole. I had like everything,
yeah.
car issues I had to go fix. Like, yeah, there was no
Yeah.
dodging it this time. Like,
There was no dodging it. And that was the thing that I think I remember the most kind of us talking about is like, you were like, it's the universe making sure I want this. And I was thinking,
you
you
fought so hard, the universe fought you back.
yeah, kind of. But yes, yeah. It's like you can't pause it. You've got to be able to find a way to continue even as it's happening. Like,
Mm.
yeah, that you just can't pause. You're gonna have to take it with you. And practice in every moment, every moment, every moment, and to take it from outside of you, wanting everything to calm, to inside of you. And how do I remain calm as all this is happening and I'm trying to quit?
Mhm.
And I think somewhere along the line that clicked for you. And I think that's when, because you're right, you are a very angry quitter.
Yeah, oh no lie, guys. Like people fear me. People absolutely
Yeah.
fear me when I'm trying to quit an addiction like that to that magnitude. However, I
Yeah.
also want to say for the world out there, that my doctor told me it's easier to quit meth than it is to quit cigarettes. So for anyone who's quit cigarettes, for anyone who's trying to quit cigarettes, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And you should be proud of
Absolutely.
you too. That's hard.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's
Yep.
also why I get so, and you can go quit meth and go to a rehab facility, but they don't have rehab for cigarette smokers. Let's be real here. So, where do I get
Right.
stuck? With my family who gets to suffer with me instead of some stranger who will forget me a week later. Um,
Yeah, or it's not going to go home with you. You're not going to,
yeah,
you don't
like
have a
at least
life
they
with
don't
them.
live with me and they're not stuck with me. But like, unfortunately, these guys
Yeah.
were love them to death, and thank God they didn't forsake me. But yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So somewhere in there, you started to internalize and you started to kind of, I can't fix that out there. So what do I have left? This inner. Yeah. So
Art,
that's when
lots
I
of
saw
art.
the shift. That's when I really felt like, she's got it this time. There's no stopping her. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been hard.
Yeah.
It's still hard.
Yeah. Um, so beliefs, another thing that I think may have helped you. Okay, so you just had another dream of smoking. Do you remember the
Except
first one?
this time I put it out.
Yeah, you didn't even like it and you put it
Yeah.
out.
The
That's kind of
first time
cool.
I had a dream about it, I was I was savoring it.
Yeah. And then you called me.
And I was so mad. I was like, now I'm dreaming about this crap too. What the heck? I
Yeah.
was like, I can't escape it even in my sleep.
Yeah. And what did we talk about then? Because there's a resistance there. Do you see it now as you're resisting?
You said to let myself enjoy it in the dream because it's not actually harming me.
Yeah. Did
And
it help?
yeah, and the book I was reading that I finished yesterday, it also was talking about dream state and like how, well, scientists have figured out that while we're asleep, our brain is actually processing everything from the day, but it's problem solving because it's not focused on all these minuscule tasks along the way, so it can put more focus into problem solving. And that's why you wake up with those aha
With the
moments,
ahas.
is because your brain was problem solving all that crap while you were knocked out and you had no idea your subconscious was fixing this problem for you. And well, knowing that, I was like, oh, okay, let's see what happens when I go to bed tonight. Let's just go to sleep with an open mind, right? Dream self quit last night too, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, how cool. So I'm gonna keep checking in with you and seeing how you're doing. But yeah, maybe it'll be a little easier from here. Maybe you won't still, I mean, you've had these cravings, so maybe this piece of it, maybe that dream will
Is
help
my
you or
subconscious letting go, like,
yeah,
or
maybe.
something, like, maybe it's confirmation, like, we're done.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. That's cool. That's cool.
And
Okay,
there's been a lot going on while quitting too. Like, there's
you
been a lot.
did.
We had to, yeah, there was a theft situation. There was people dying. There was, I mean, there was a lot health
Yeah.
stuff, and it just was the flooding. My house was flooding at the same freaking time. Like, oh man, it was rough. It was not fun. Not
Yeah.
fun. But I was like, you know what? If I could do it through that, I'm good. So I already went to a concert and I made it through that one too. And I feel good.
Yay! Yay! That's cool. Hmm. Okay.
Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to call it here. Go to the next subject so we don't bombard you with too long of our ramblings.
Yeah. Love it.